This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The time is precisely 6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Chandima Virakon. Headlines. Progress review on the 2024 budget proposals will begin on Monday. 6 large-scale renewable power projects will be reviewed. The work on the multipurpose transport centre in Kandy will be commenced before the end of this year. The Disaster Management Centre says that 19 districts have been affected by the prevailing drought. 3 categories of antibiotics that have been manufactured locally will be removed from usage. Gabon election, President Ali Bongo aims for third term. Local stories in detail. Progress review on the 2024 budget proposals will begin on Monday. State Minister for Finance Ranjit Sibalapitiya says that the relevant proposals were obtained last Tuesday. A challengeable budget will be submitted next year. It is also hoped to submit a proposal that will provide facilities for the positive economic path. He made these remarks while participating in an observation tour on the construction of Yatiyantota Garagoda Bridge at a cost of 460 million rupees. The progress review will be carried out on 6 large-scale renewable power projects in line with the government's program to fulfill the 70% renewable power requirement by the year 2023. A discussion headed by Minister Kanchana Wijayasekara was held with the president of the officials of CEB, Ministry of Power and Sunitya Power Authority. The discussion was focused to obtain government permission to acquire land, to construct transmission road and to reach agreement to purchase electricity and many other facts. The Mana and Punireen wind power generation project and solar power projects of Sampur Hambantota, Siemalandua and Batiklo were also reviewed. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says that the work on the multipurpose transport centre in Kandy will be commenced before the end of this year. The construction plan of this centre as a remedy to the traffic congestion in the Kandy town were limited only a discussion since 7 years. Therefore, the minister stated that the construction of this centre will be completed before the end of this year under the World Bank assistance. He made these remarks while participating in an opening ceremony of the Kandy Management Monitoring Office Complex and the railway station of Kandy this morning. The railway department has spent 5 million rupees to construct the new railway station. He also observed that Gatabe flyover bridge. The Disaster Management Centre says that 19 districts have been affected by the prevailing drought. Nearly 300,000 people were affected by the drought. Northern Province is the most affected area and more than 23,680 have suffered from the severe drought. The highest temperature has been reported from the Northern Province. Large number of crop cultivations were also damaged completely. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with the local stories, it has been reported that arrival of local visitors to the Polonnaruwa sacred place has been increased. The tourists have visited to witness the Polonnaruwa Watadagaya, Rankotvehera, Galviharaya, Somavatiya and Dimbulagala. Meanwhile, Napalak International Literature Festival will be held in Kathmandu on the 1st of next month. More than 300 literature people in the world will participate at the event. This has been introduced as the largest literature festival of Asia. To conclude the local news, the headlines again. Progress review on the 2024 budget proposals will begin on Monday. 6 large-scale renewable power projects will be reviewed. The work on the multipurpose transport centre in Kandy will be commenced before the end of this year. The Disaster Management Centre says that 19 districts have been affected by the prevailing drought. 3 categories of antibiotics that have been manufactured locally will be removed from usage. That ends the local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Taking a look at the main news story, 3 categories of antibiotics that have been manufactured locally will be removed from usage. These drugs have been confirmed to be of low quality standard. The Medical Supply Unit has informed this to all hospitals in the island. The World Health Organization has requested from Sri Lanka for an investigation report relevant to this. That ends the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Live is brought to you by
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
Moving on to Watch Light, the residents of Ambalangoda complain that the bus operation from Ambalangoda to Battapola does not operate at night and morning time properly. Therefore, the residents, school children and employees are facing many hardships due to this reason. They request the relevant authorities to look into this matter and to deploy sufficient buses for this area. This is for the attention of the Commuter Transport Authority of the Southern Province. That ends Watch Light.
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
Moving on to the world news, the headlines. Gabon election, President Ali Bongo aims for 3rd term. British Museum recovers some of 2,000 stolen items. Loch Ness Monster. Hundreds join huge search for Nessie. Polls have opened in the oil-rich Central African nation of Gabon, where President Ali Bongo will come to power when his father Omar died in 2009, is hoping to win a 3rd term. He faces competition from 13 people. Gabon is not the property of the Bongos, says rival candidate Albert Ondo Ossa, who hopes he can lead the Alterance 2023 coalition to victory despite only being appointed last week. As in previous general elections, there are serious concerns about the process. Both of Mr. Bongo's prior wins were disputed as fraudulent by opponents, and this time around controversial changes have been made to the ballot papers just weeks before election day. About 2,000 items are thought to have been stolen from the British Museum, but some of them missing treasures have started to be recovered, Chairman George Osborne has confirmed. The ex-chancellor accepted the museum's reputation has suffered, but said it is a mess we are going to clear up. He told the BBC more could have been done, after theft concerns were first raised in February 2021. A staff member of the museum suspects of involvement has been sacked, and it was announced on Friday that Hartwig Fischer, the museum's director, will step down after accepting a 2021 investigation was mishandled. The biggest search for the Loch Ness Monster in more than 50 years is getting underway in the Scottish Highlands. 200 volunteers are to help record natural and any unusual sights on Loch Ness from vantage points on land. Almost 300 have signed up to monitor a live stream from the search, which is taking place today and tomorrow. It is 90 years since the modern myth of Nessie began. And to conclude the world news, we take a look at the headlines again. Gabon election, President Ali Bongo aims for 3rd term. British Museum recovers some of 2,000 stolen items. Loch Ness Monster, hundreds join huge search for Nessie. That ends the world news.
Development News is brought to you by
Job opportunities for well-experienced housemaids and home cooks in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait for ages 40 to 58 years. Salary 125,000 rupees. Contact 037 7500 500.
And on development news, ice manufacturing centre will be constructed in Atimale area in Batiklo. 2.5 million rupees will be spent in this regard. This project will be initiated with the support of World Food Programme. That ends the development news.
Job opportunities for women from Deshakti Lanka in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Oman. Housemaids and home cooks in Saudi Arabia, ages 40 to 58 years. Arabic speaking and well-experienced home cooks. Salary 125,000 rupees. Interviews are now on with foreign agents. You can travel overseas free of charge now. Branches Colombo, Kurunegala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 0377 500 500. Deshakti Lanka Foreign Employment Agency.
We move on to sports news next. Sri Lankan fast bowler Asitha Fernando has reportedly agreed to a deal to play county cricket in the United Kingdom this season. According to cricket sources, he is likely to sign with Nottinghamshire Cricket Club to play the England and Wales Cricket Board's county championship competition in September. The deal is important for cricketer Asitha Fernando as Sri Lanka does not play Test cricket during the season this year. Sri Lanka is also scheduled to tour England next year as part of the Test Championship. That ends sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
And on business news, Sri Lanka's steadfast commitment to strengthening its export-oriented economy through manufacturing is taking centre stage at the 7th edition of the Complete Plastic Exhibition, or Complas 2023. The highly anticipated event is currently underway from August 25th to 27th at the BMICH in Colombo. The collaboration between the Plastics and Rubber Institute of Sri Lanka, PRISL, Smart Expos and the Industrial Development Board has culminated in the successful realization of Complas 2023.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And on the economic news, Treasury bills valued at 150 billion rupees will be issued. These bills will be issued maturing on 91, 182 and 364 days. The auction will be held on Tuesday. The central bank said that these bills can be purchased from licensed commercial banks and from primary dealers. That ends the economic news.
Weather report.
And finally, we take a look at the weather report. A few showers will occur in western and Sabaragamu provinces and in Galle and Matara districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in Monaragala, Ampara and Batiklo districts during the evening or at night. Mainly fair weather will continue elsewhere over the island. That ends the weather report. And to conclude this bulletin of news, we take a look at the headlines again. Progress review on 2024 budget proposals will begin on Monday. 6 large-scale renewable power projects will be reviewed. The work on the multipurpose transport centre in Kandy will be commenced before the end of this year. The Disaster Management Centre says that 19 districts have been affected by the prevailing drought. 3 categories of antibiotics that have been manufactured locally will be removed from usage. Gabon election, President Ali Bongo aims for 3rd term. With that, we conclude this bulletin of news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.